May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free from harm. May all beings love life. May all beings awaken. Welcome to another Cuke Audio Brief Memory. I'm DC Puba of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives, preserving the legacy of Shunryu Suzuki and those whose paths crossed his, and anything else that comes to mind. I pray that you and yours are safe and comfortable and free from economic hardship and able to get out and do whatever it is you want within the limitations of the universal precept of do as little harm as possible. So, today's brief memory comes from Barbara Bash, who if I've met, I don't remember, and I think it would be the same for her. She says, "My time at the Zen Center in San Francisco was quite brief. I went to sit a few times in 1968. I believe I was living in San Francisco dropping out of college and traveling in Europe. I felt adrift, out of connection, and ended up at Antioch College in Ohio later that year, where I hooked up with people who led me eventually back to Buddhist practice and Trungpa Rinpoche. My memories of Suzuki Roshi were only as a presence in the zendo, a wind walking through the space during zazen. My inner awareness was just beginning to find its path. I touched into the Zen Center for a moment, did not hear Suzuki Roshi speak, just felt him pass by me. It was not my time to connect with the teacher. So, I got hold of Barbara. It says right here, heard of Barbara through her husband, Steve Gorn, at the Baja Gaja Music Festival in Pune, India. Ooh, that would be 2011. That was great. That was made possible by Linda Hess. It was a cultural festival, and she's a translator and scholar of Kabir. Yeah, Kabir is really great. And, she goes back in the Zen Center realm, is married to Kaz Tanahashi. And I went there with Clay, and we were their guests for this 5-day festival. They put us up in a hotel room, and it was great. Anyway, so I ran into this fellow, Steve Gordon. He said, anyway, we made that connection. So I sent her an email and said, hey, your husband said so-and-so. And so I got this response. She first said some nice things about Crooked Cucumber, but out of modesty, I will not read those. This is the sort of memory this is an example of how far flung from the inner circle I like to go in this oral history, in putting together this story of, Shunryu Suzuki and those whose paths crossed his. And I like what she wrote. a wind walking through the space during Zazen. Didn't hear him speak, just felt him pass by me. He would frequently get up and walk around the zendo during Zazen with his little teacher stick and maybe straighten a few people or tap somebody who was nodding or whatever. You know, just keep track of the troops. So that's her snapshot of that. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. And I appreciate, to me what it's like studying the solar system, including the farthest flung asteroids and planet-like objects. Oh, there are many objects. There's many types of objects in our solar system. And, when we study it, we study the famous ones, the big planets. And, and we know about maybe the asteroid belt. But I took a science course once where the teacher said that, planet, there are bodies in the solar system that are officially recognized as planet, but he said it's not really a very scientific designation. It's more like an administrative one. I mean, it's hard to know. They're just all these different objects of different sizes. I think they start getting round when they're about 500 miles in diameter. So that's one point there. But anyway, so there's a lot of big, important planets that we study, and then there's some smaller ones, and then there's ones that didn't even become big enough to get round. I like to include them. I always say I like to include somebody that dropped by once and delivered a package. I also include people that were never there, but who feel connected in some way, or I'll include somebody's dream. And ultimately, really, I include anybody who's even heard of it. And actually, I include also the ones who never heard of it, the ones who weren't even born on this planet, because we're all interconnected in one way or another. And why stop? I never want to stop at any particular point. So it actually includes the entire extent of the known and unknown cosmos in space and time. And this is Barbara's contribution to that. And let me tell you, there are people I want to get to all the time. I like to. It's what I say? I say it's a way of saying hello to each other. That's one way of looking at it. Anyway, that's enough of all that, huh? This has been a brief memory, a mini podcast from Cuke Audio. I'm DC Puba of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives, coming to you from Sleepy Sanur with Dogette Bandita, Feline Cuchita, and dear, lovely Katrinka. And we're wishing you and yours and all of us a grand awakening.